Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com, and today I want to give you 3 quick tips to dramatically increase your productivity. Proverbs chapter 6 verses 9 through 11 says, "How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man." And once again, that's Proverbs 6, verses 9 through 11. I'm using that text to frame the first tip, which is get up at least 30 minutes earlier each day. If you just got up 30 minutes earlier, I'm not telling you to get up 4 hours earlier. Just try 30 minutes. That's not going to hurt you, not going to make you sick. People talking about, well, I need 9 hours of sleep and all this kind of nonsense. You have conditioned yourself to need longer amounts of sleep than you probably really do. And there's also some behaviors you do that cause you to maybe need more sleep than you should if you were in perfect health. But if you got up earlier, 30 minutes earlier every day, that would be 3.5 hours each week of more productivity. Each month, that'd be about 14 hours more productivity. And an entire year would be 168 hours more that you got done only from getting up 30 minutes earlier each day. That's not that much of an inconvenience. 168 hours a year of additional, think how much you're going to get done. That's a whole entire week worth of 24-hour days of extra work, extra productivity you got accomplished because you got up only 30 minutes earlier. The second thing, let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8. "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come." Now, oftentimes people will use this as an excuse for not exercising. Well, bodily exercise profited little. A couple of real quick things. In this time, people walked around. They didn't get shuttled around everywhere. They walked. They didn't need exercise like we do today, where people sit inside for 93% of their day is indoors with very little activity. So for them, it profited very little. Probably was completely useless in many cases because their bodies were moving all the time through work and just being alive. They had to walk around and move and have a lot more activity than most people today do. But that's not the case in many countries, more civilized and advanced countries. Well, it's also made it easier for people not to do anything, to not have to move. And our body is made to move. And it starts falling apart when you don't move. And also another thing to note is it doesn't say bodily exercise profits none. It says it profits little. Obviously, you don't put bodily exercise and go to the gym 5 hours a day when your godliness is down the tubes and you're living in sin and not obeying God, not loving your neighbor, and not being a person of character. But you can do both. You can exercise, be in good health, and be godly. The reason this is a productivity tip is because when you exercise, rather than take away from your energy, you will increase it. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I have a treadmill and a standing desk. And so when I am working, and I may walk 10 miles a day, and you may think, well, doesn't it make you tired? No. And another thing, not only does it give you more energy as you're being productive, it curbs your appetite. So if you are an obese person, if you've had self-control issues and you're eating too much, exercise can actually help you tremendously in that regard as well. This will absolutely help you be productive. And then that first thing we talked about, getting up 30 minutes earlier, will be easier because your body will be in better shape and not require as much sleep as unhealthy people do. Unhealthy people require a lot more sleep because their body is constantly fighting all kinds of problems that they're bombarding it with, from their unhealthy food to their sedentary lifestyle. It's very hard on the body, and that will crush your productivity. So get a little bit of exercise in, 20-30 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be anything super difficult. Just 20 or 30 minutes a day, and that will be a real blessing for you and help your productivity. And the third thing, let's read Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 16. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Instead of doing like other people do, where they're wasting their time, they're going to the movies and sporting events and all these things where they're literally wasting time, you redeem time, you buy it back. You make it into something useful and productive for you and your family's life. So the tip here is to redeem the time, but one of the ways you'll do this is to write down each week areas that you could improve in. Now, this isn't to beat yourself up, and this isn't necessary to even show anyone else, okay? Because sometimes you can invite negative and destructive commentary from people if you were to hand them this. Oh, here's the areas I think I'm not doing great in. You don't need to be giving this out to everybody. This is for you. But look, what did you do that worked well? That's great. Is there any areas you could improve that to make it work even better? Is there inefficiencies there? Is there things that you did that you didn't need to do? Are there patterns that you're in that aren't serving your best interests right now? Maybe they haven't served your best interests in years, but you're still doing them because it's just kind of a pattern, a habit, and you don't even think about it. It's just what you do. Redeeming the time is so very important. When you take this little bit of time each week to write down things you've done and areas that could be improved, and it only takes 5-10 minutes to think about this. And if you're going throughout the week and you think of something, oh, this could be improved, write that down. You don't have to do it all at the end of the week. You can write it down as you go, and then at the end of the week, review it and make the changes that you need to make in order to get those areas, those problem areas, or not even problem areas. They're only problem areas in the sense that a math problem, 2 + 2 = 4. That's a problem. It's not anything bad. These are things for you to solve that you have the answer to within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You have the answer within you. And if you don't know the answer, you can ask God. He gives you wisdom liberally, as long as you ask in faith. Nothing doubting. Now, if you'll do these things, if you'll get up 30 minutes earlier, if you'll exercise daily, and if you will redeem the time, importantly in this regard, physically sit down and write what things could have been changed and done better, and then make those changes so you will actually implement the things you need to implement in order to be more productive. These are just 3 quick tips, but these tips, if you'll do them, just the first week, if you do these things, you will see dramatic results. And I'd love to hear from you. You can send me an email. You can leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you about how these tips, if you implemented them, how did they help you become the person you need to become and improve your productivity and get better results. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.